Sup, boys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another awesome video. I am not 8 Thoughts. I'm glad you're all here. If you are not subscribed to this channel, trust me, this channel's awesome. Subscribe. It's free. There's no contract. If you change your mind in the future, you can just unsubscribe. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Subscribe. I'd appreciate it. 100,000 subscribers. Here we come. With that being said, let's get into today's video. And it appears that a lot of people have mixed emotions, mixed feelings, mixed opinions when it comes to Battlefield 2042, the beta that we just played that just ended on a Saturday night, which is pretty weird. Like, why are we ending a beta on a Saturday night? That makes about as much sense as the beta did for some. The beta for a lot of people was quirky, wasn't working well, was buggy, had a lot of errors, and I don't really quite understand the marketing aspect of that. Like, why are you going to put forth a product that doesn't really work that well? And before I go forward, there also seems to be two different people playing the Battlefield beta. There's those who have a really good PC and had a better experience, and then there seems to be pretty much everybody else, and of course you can sprinkle in a few people on next generation consoles that still enjoyed it. But for the most part, I think the people who really didn't like the beta really, obviously some people on PC didn't like it, but the people who are in the large majority of disliking the Battlefield beta were console players, which isn't really fair because majority of people play on consoles. So how you expect to make a successful game, make money, if 70% of your target audience don't get to play the game and have a good experience because it's not optimized and it plays poorly on a console? However, I played the beta on PC and I had a really good rig. So let me also preface this by saying if you have a PC and it's not a really good rig, it was not great for either. Basically, the beta sucked for almost everybody who wasn't playing on a $3,000 PC. It makes about as much sense as ending the beta on a Saturday night on a weekend, which is a long weekend, by the way, for those who live in Canada. I don't know about the UK, but it's Thanksgiving weekend in Canada for those of you who are Canadian. I'm from the planet Awesome, and I'm not really human. I just come down to make YouTube videos for y'all as not 8 Thoughts. So yes, there was a lot of issues with the beta. Like I said, personally, I made a video before. I enjoyed it. I thought the beta was awesome. I put like 10, 15 hours into it. I played as much as I could when I wasn't doing other things, going outside and touching grass, you nerds. But I enjoyed the beta. I had a really good time. I didn't have any real issues, except I did have one issue, I will be honest. At the end, at the very end of the beta, I tried to change some key bindings around, and for whatever reason, it kind of broke the whole key binding system, and I wasn't able to equip my primary weapon with an actual button push. I had to use the scroll wheel on my mouse, not actual 1, 2, or 3 keyboard buttons, and other bindings like the 5 and 6 keyboard function rather than button on my mouse, so I kind of was screwed up that way. So I also had issues as well. But I mean, for the most part, nothing really happened in the beta. I didn't have any weird graphical issues. I didn't have any strobe light effects. I didn't have any glitches. Didn't have any stuttering. The game played about 90 frames per second on high, ultra, medium, sort of mixed up depending upon, like terrain or shadows to try to get more frames out of the game because it wasn't very well optimized, let's be honest. I'm running a 3080 and a really good CPU as well, 8 cores, you know what I'm saying, coming in with the 8 cores, not 8 Thoughts, hitting it hard with the PC Master Race. But I can understand why people would see the beta as being a giant piece of hot caca, because there was a lot of issues. And from a marketing standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. This is the only chance you've got, your first impression. Here comes the beta, trying to get people hyped up for it. And it seems to have really been about 70% think the beta sucked, and about 30% of people thought the beta was good. And I guess I'm just weird, because I'm usually pretty negative on games. If you know me, we Call of Duty out here trying to tell people to be more positive. It's like basically a black guy trying to tell other people not to shoot people in Southside Chicago. I know it sounds a bit hypocritical out here trying to stay positive, and I'm, very known for being harsh on games. But I mean, I thought I had a good time. I was like, what are people complaining about? This is awesome. I love the movement. Everything seems pretty good to me. But then you look at other video clips that I'm seeing online of people on last-gen consoles especially. But first of all, who the hell is still playing last-gen console? I'm just joking. I know it's impossible to get a next-gen console because people keep, buying them all up and trying to sell them off as scalpers. Sons of bitches. I do say as a defense, but also kind of a stupid move by Battlefield with this, is why did they release a crappy, as the Battlefield developer said, DICE said, this is a 3-month-old build, but why would you release that to the public knowing that it's not very well optimized? I mean, I guess they had to, is my guessing. They had to put something out there. They kept saying there's going to be a beta. It was supposed to be in October. Well, actually, this is October. It's supposed to be back. I don't know when the hell it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a long time ago. They keep delaying the game, delaying the beta. And I think they had, their asses up against the wall, their backs up against the wall, and they had no choice but, hey, we got to give them something to play, which makes me a little bit trepidatious, a little bit nervous about the release of Battlefield 2042, because honestly, DICE doesn't have a very good track record of actually releasing a very good product on launch. I mean, people always talk about how awesome Battlefield 4 was or how good Battlefield 3 was, but they seem to forget how bad that game was when it launched. It was not a very good game when it launched. Let's just keep it real and pack to steel. It took quite a while for those games to become actually stable and fixed without bug issues and all kinds of other issues, which is, I don't know, man, like, why not just then delay it? Do what Halo did, do what 343 Studios did. Delay the game a little bit longer and release it when it's actually good to play, not release it under, I guess, this is be honest with it, I think Activision, rather not Activision, I mean, they all suck, so I get them confused. Rather, EA is forcing the hand as well because they got to get a game out in the last quarter of the year for financial reasons so that their stock looks good, is what I'm guessing. But man, I don't know. Apparently making video games nowadays is hard because every game, no matter where it comes from, for the most part, except Rockstar, but that's because they don't release a game, very often. They get a game, when the hell was GTA 5? That was, I think, 10 years. Was it 10 years ago, man? It might have been longer. I don't know. It's been so long, I have forgotten. But most game developers release a game unfinished, not working well, and then 6 months after launch, hey, lo and behold, we've got a good game and we're actually having a good experience with the money we spent. But Battlefield, the DICE developers, they seem to at least care about the game. They keep going on Twitter saying, we're going to fix it. These are the issues that we know are the issues. And, the build was 3 months ago, and a lot of these technical problems that you all have issues with have already been fixed and will be in the full release. But I did see an interesting thread on Reddit explaining maybe why things are the way they are. Like, we couldn't look at the scoreboard. You couldn't tell people to come revive you. The UI was all super funky. The weapons, were kind of weird with the whole how you couldn't actually, do your loadout in the pregame lobby, which they said that they're going to fix. You have to do it on the fly. The helicopters, the aerial vehicles, the jet planes, how everything sort of seemed to not quite fit right. How you couldn't expand the map. Everything was just really weird, but for me, why I enjoyed it was the underlying core of the game, the actual gameplay, the gunplay, at least on PC, was fun. Like, it was actually a good time. I enjoyed it. And people are complaining about not seeing enough people or being able to find enemies. I think after you played a few hours, you've realized where the actual, how to get into the heat and how to get into the battle. I never had a hard time finding people. I was always in, pretty much in combat situations quite regularly. But it's unfortunate that DICE gave us this as a beta, and I think their backs were up against the wall, as I said earlier. I think they had to bring something out because they said they were going to bring something out, and they had to deliver because people are like, yo, man, like, this doesn't look good. And EA is like, yeah, if you don't have a beta and you keep pushing it back, we're going to lose pre-sales or whatever, man. We're not going to make some money. And they had to release something. It just kind of sucks. It only worked for like 10% of the people who actually played it. Like, who the hell has a 3080 or a 3090 graphics card or a 3070? Not very many people. They have 1080s, but they didn't really work that well on a 1080. I have a 3080, like I said, with 8-core CPU, and I couldn't even get like 100 frames with like mixed high and low settings. On high, I could get 80 frames. Come on, that's not even optimized. So how do you expect a guy on a PlayStation 4 to enjoy the experience? It probably looked like he was playing on a freaking Sega Genesis, an Atari 2600. Or ColecoVision, bro. So, man, the launch probably won't be that much better, won't be that much great. At least you have a lot more stuff to play, hopefully a lot more game modes. You'll have the Portal, you'll have the other game mode, which I can't even think of right now, which is sort of like a Escape from Tarkov. I don't know, man. I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, especially the Actman. He did not like it. Everyone has an opinion, and they're just like assholes, and they all stink, and that's just the beauty of the internet, I guess, nowadays. We all get to spit our nonsense and blah all over for people to listen. Some like it, some don't, just like the beta of Battlefield. And with that smooth, silky ending, I'm out. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. It's free. There's no contract. You can change your mind later, but you're not going to do anyways because this channel is awesome. And I appreciate all the support as always. Love you guys. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace out.